Early on in my career, I had a fixed mindset. And I don't remember having such a fixed mindset until after I got my license. But after I got my license, I came on fast and it came on fierce with hit after hit of rejection. It was those, no, I'm not interested. No, take me off your list. No, click. And it was even worse when they would stay on the line just to berate me or scold me for calling. And I would be lying if I didn't say that some of those sessions ended up in tears. Now, these limiting beliefs, they don't just show up in new agents. They can show up in the growth phase. So that can show up as an imposter syndrome. This could be either moving from a buyer's agent to a listing agent, or moving from a team onto becoming a solo agent, or growing your own team, or growing into your own brokerage. And so many of the mentors and many of the coaches, they'll typically start out with change the way you think about things, change your thoughts. And at the time when you're deep into it, it's easier said than done. But the first step I learned from one of my coaches early on was acknowledgement. And one of the tools that he taught us was we wrapped a rubber band around our wrist. Every time we caught a negative thought, we would snap the rubber band. And that was my introduction into awareness. That simple act was the start of my mindset shift. But here's the thing. Contrary to popular belief, we can't vision board, we can't affirm our way into it. Don't get me wrong. These tools are still very helpful. But mindset work alone isn't enough. We have to do the work. And that work is the grounding, it's the shadow work, it's the clearing, it's the releasing. And so think about it. You're watching a video, motivational video on YouTube or on a television station, and you're pumped, you're ready to go, you're ready to start changing your life. You're so motivated. So you're journaling, you're doing vision boards, you're affirming, you might even have enough energy and momentum that you actually start working out, right? But then you start noticing that the results aren't coming fast enough. You're not noticing a change. So you start to simmer, it starts to slow down, and then you start thinking, I'm doing this wrong, I don't know what I'm doing, this isn't working. And those limiting beliefs start to come back and the cycle starts all over again. And so now you're wondering why it hasn't worked. And so like life, we can't hustle our way into it. We have to stay grounded, we have to take it slow, we have to be consistent. It's that quiet process of acknowledgement, work, balance, release, and flow. And when I say be the change, when I say do the work, I mean meet yourself where you are. Follow the doubt. Notice the fears. And then follow those roots of limiting belief. Let them show themselves so you can release them. So here's the truth. Our minds naturally have a negative bias. We naturally look for the negative experiences in our lives rather than the positives. Because that's our evolutionary cycle. We're going to look for danger to keep us alive. And we're not going to look for those blessed experiences. So what we have to do is we have to reprogram our minds. We have to teach our brains to look out for evidence of positivity. We need to focus on positive experiences. Rather than your brain looking for those evidences of how you made that mistake, what went wrong during that transaction, you're going to look towards what good thing did you do during that transaction. Focus on that positive. That's how you start changing your thoughts. Look for that evidence. Our mind craves evidence. So some evidence of positivity during a transaction, that could be a thank you note from a client after a closing. That could be a hug during a transaction. That could be a positive review on Yelp or Zillow or Google. And so that's why awareness is so important. It lets us choose what we're going to focus on. So when you catch an old thought, maybe you want to try the rubber band on the wrist. You're going to want to acknowledge it, find evidence or find proof of the opposite. And so that's how your mind can begin to shift, not with a forced positivity, but with a grounded truth. And so once you start to regulate your thoughts, that's when you can start to see those changes. Awareness, evidence, integration, flow. That is how the transformation of your mindset begins.